everyone. Welcome to this month's episode of Kidneys in the Kitchen. I'm Megan Craig, Director of Programs for the National Kidney Foundation of Illinois, and I am joined as always by a beautiful dietitian who's going to talk with us today about kind of a fun topic, alcoholic beverages and kidney disease. So something that we haven't covered in the past, but could be kind of useful to your lives if you're on dialysis or have kidney disease. So go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience.
Hi, everyone. My name's Lauren. I'm a registered dietitian at Mount Sinai Hospital, and located in Chicago. I work with dialysis patients, both hemodialysis and peritoneal dialysis. And I thought today it would be fun to talk about how to safely drink if you're on dialysis or if you have kidney disease prior to starting dialysis.
All right, excellent. We like to do real life situations as much as possible on this show, and alcoholic beverages and having fun with friends is a real part of life. So, all right, go ahead. What do we need to know about drinking safely?
Yeah, well, to start, I always tell my patients, if they ever ask if they can drink alcohol, to always talk to their doctor first. There's medications they could be on that could interfere with alcohol if they do decide to drink. So first step is to always ask your doctor first before you can start drinking.
Yes, of course. Thank you for that. That's a really good point.
And then if the doctor does give you the okay that you can drink, it's really important to drink in moderation. So to drink in moderation, that is 1 drink a day for women or 2 drinks a day for men.
Okay, still a perfectly reasonable amount, right?
Yeah.
You can still have fun with that. So.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of my patients, when I say about drinking in moderation, a lot of people don't really know exactly what 1 drink is. A lot of people, when they're out socializing, at parties, 1 drink, what they thought was 1 drink could have actually been 2 or 3 drinks. So I thought it'd be good to actually talk about the portion that they should be drinking.
Yeah, because 1 drink in a tiny cup and 1 drink in a big red cup is not exactly the same thing.
So if you're drinking, let's say, beer, that would be 12 ounces, would be 1 drink. If you're drinking wine, that would be 5 ounces. And if you're doing hard liquor, tequila, rum, vodka, gin, that would be 1.5 ounces. Just so that way you kind of know how much you should be drinking. I feel like a lot of people think 1 glass of wine is 1 serving, but that could actually be 2 servings.
Sure, depending on how big that wine glass really is. I know that when we're talking with dialysis patients, a lot of the time we're talking also about fluid restriction.
Yeah.
Alcoholic beverages, I assume, would count against your fluids for the day?
Yes, that's very important. So if you do drink, it does count towards your fluid. So if you do have 1 drink, that counts towards your fluid restriction that was prescribed either by your dietitian or your doctor. And if you're doing 2 drinks, you have to make sure that, if you're a man having 2 drinks a day, you really have to be careful that the rest of the day you're being a little more cautious with your fluid intake. So that way you don't go over your prescribed amount.
Okay, awesome. Anything else people generally need to know about drinking while on dialysis?
Yeah, so with dialysis, I'm sure a lot, and this could also happen prior to dialysis, if you're told to watch either your potassium or phosphorus intake, that also plays a role in your alcoholic beverages. For example, beer, all types of beer, stouts, ales, lagers, tend to be a little bit higher in phosphorus. So if you are a beer drinker, you really want to make sure you're limiting the intake of beer. Our hard liquors, tequila, gin, rum, tend to be lower in potassium and phosphorus. But most people tend to make cocktails when they're drinking hard liquor, so what we mix our drinks with can also play a key role in our potassium and phosphorus intake.
Are there any mixers that are particularly high in those things that people might want to avoid?
Yeah, so for potassium, for example, you want to stay away from stuff like orange juice or tomato juice, so really want to be limiting our intake of Bloody Marys, screwdrivers, tequila sunrises, because there'll be a lot of potassium in that beverage.
Okay, that makes sense. And another thing, of course, that a lot of our dialysis patients are dealing with is diabetes. So we're always looking also to be cautious about sugar intake. Definitely something that could be an issue with alcoholic beverages, correct?
Yes. Yeah, so if you do have diabetes, it's also really important to be careful when you drink. It's not recommended to drink on an empty stomach because your blood sugars could drop too quickly. So you want to make sure if you are drinking that you're also eating at the same time. And yes, what you're drinking, especially if you're doing cocktails, will have sugar in it. So you have to make sure that you're counting your carbs so that way you're not going over your recommended carb intake.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah, and I could show it on a nutrition label. We do have some cranberry juice here, so that way we could take a look.
Well, oh yeah, make sure that cap is on tight. That would be a bummer.
So you could take a look here. This is 100% fruit juice, which is going to be better than sort of like a cranberry cocktail beverage that's going to have more sugar in it.
Okay.
And then this is for an 8 ounce, so 1 cup. Depending on how much you're putting in your cocktail, you'll have to calculate it based on that. So let's say we are doing the 8 fluid ounces, so 1 cup. You could take a look at carbs. That's 28 grams of carbs that you will be getting if you use this to make a cocktail. So make sure that you're calculating those carbs in for your diet. Total dietary intake is also very important.
Okay, awesome. Good advice. I just want to go back to the fact that you had mentioned not cranberry juice cocktail.
Yes.
As far as the sugar goes. I'm noticing this particular cranberry juice says 100% juice. Cocktails are, what, maybe like 10% juice,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And then the rest is
A
sugar?
lot of extra sugar, yes.
Okay, so
yeah, I would recommend if we're doing cocktails, try to do 100% fruit juice, or let's say you're using like a soda to mix your drinks, I would recommend more of a diet soda. So that way you're not getting all those extra carbs and sugar when you're making cocktails.
that makes sense. And of course with the juice, that goes for any kind. Grapefruit juice would be one that often comes with any of them, right? It can definitely make the difference. So.
And then also with the soda drinks, another thing I forgot to mention was phosphorus is another key restriction in a lot of our kidney disease or dialysis patients. So when you're making drinks, you also want to make sure you're not doing stuff that has a lot of cream or dairy that could give you some extra phosphorus and potassium. But also stay away from like the darker colas, beverages, dark sodas, because that's going to give you more phosphorus. So usually I'd recommend something more like a lemon lime soda, club soda, tonic water, so that way you're not getting all that extra phosphorus in it.
Okay, awesome. And I see we have all the ingredients here.
Yeah, so I thought it'd be fun to make a beverage. This I thought would be fitting if you're doing more of a party setting. It's a party punch. But you can also make a smaller serving of it if you'd like, if you're just drinking, with yourself or with 1 or 2 friends. So the ingredients are, we do have some champagne, which I think is always a more festive alcoholic beverage. So I thought that'd be good to demonstrate for today. And then you can use either like a lemon lime soda, club soda. Either would work depending on your flavor preferences. And like I said, they're both lower in phosphorus, which would be excellent if you are on dialysis or have kidney disease. And then I also am going to be using cranberry juice. Cranberry juice is a lower potassium juice that you can use. Like I said, we want to stay away from orange juices because of all the extra potassium.
Okay.
So to start, I got some ice here. Always think it's important. Keep your beverages cool. And hopefully this will all come out nicely.
It's a little stuck together.
Yeah.
All right.
So we got some ice.
Okay.
And then next I will pour a little bit of the champagne in there.
We did pre-pop this champagne so that we didn't spill it everywhere on the air.
Now I'm not a champagne expert, but probably a drier champagne would probably work better. Since we are adding like cranberry juice to it, it could get a little bit too sugary. But some people like sugary beverages, so it's really whatever your preference is.
And there's no difference kidney-wise between a sweeter wine or a... Okay.
No.
Excellent. It looks good already.
Yeah, some people would just like to could just drink champagne straight, but this makes it a little more festive and fun, I think.
Yes, yes.
So then just pour in a little bit of the cranberry juice.
And I'm seeing this isn't an exact science, right?
No,
It's just
I
sort of
mean,
a
if you're
preference.
really particular, you could always measure it. But I figure for something like if you're making a party punch, it's going to be hard to get it exact.
Yeah, of course.
And then lastly, like I said, you could do like a lemon lime soda if you want that flavor. If you sort of just like the cranberry flavor, I recommend more of like a club soda. It's really your preference.
Okay.
So we're just going to pour a little bit of that in.
Makes it extra fizzy.
Yeah.
And the color is very, like, excellent for, you know, a New Year party or things
Yeah,
like that.
New
It's just got
Year's,
that winter-
Valentine's Day. Got some pink kind of in there. I'm going to do a little bit more of this. Yeah, it's great for the winter time.
It smells very strongly of champagne. All right, awesome.
Perfect. And you can always make changes. Like I said, you could do lemon lime soda or club soda. You could do a different juice if that's your preference. It's really easy to sort of change this recipe.
Sure.
And then last, I just want to stir it up a little bit just to make sure everything's mixed. So there we have it.
All right.
Pretty
You can
easy.
probably hear the fizzing.
Yeah, it's going to be very fizzy with both the champagne and whatever soda you decide to do.
For sure.
Yeah, so that was sort of the example of a cocktail that you can make.
Awesome. I'm going to pour some into a glass
Yeah,
so that we
and you can
kinda-
always add garnishes if you'd like. It's really up to your preference. You could get some more color that way, especially if you had something with a little bit of green to it.
Oh, yeah. I think we have some mint here, right?
Yeah.
All right.
So that'd
awesome.
be perfect. It's really...
Oh, yeah. It's adorable. One more time. Yeah. Nothing more holiday than that.
Yeah. And it's perfect for like the winter time. I think cranberry juice is a nice sort of winter beverage.
Yeah. Completely agreed. I'm trying to decide whether I should drink champagne on the air. I guess I'll have a sip just to see what it tastes like. Oh, it's super good.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it's really good. I mean, it's so handy that you can just kind of...
You can mix it. You
Mix
can
and
sort
match.
of make adjustments to the portions, you know. If you're not a big cranberry fan, maybe you would just do a little bit of it, or you don't want too much of the lemon lime taste, you could just do a splash. You can really make so many adjustments to it. It's just a nice way to get some more flavor in there, so it's a little bit more fun and festive when you are, you know, out socializing with friends or families during the holidays or during social gatherings.
Sure, that makes sense. All right, awesome. Well, I got to drink champagne at work today, so that was pretty awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
And I just want to remind everyone about our website before we go. Oh, nope, just kidding. There we go. nkfi.org, that's NKFI like National Kidney Foundation Illinois.org. You'll find lots of great diet and nutrition information. For our dialysis patients, don't forget that you can always order a free copy of our Everyday Eating Cookbook, which is specially made for dialysis patients. You can order that either by going to the website or by calling us at 312-321-1500. Also, please note that, oh, that looks delicious, but you can get all of the episodes of Kidneys in the Kitchen. If you keep scrolling down, you'll find all the episodes that we've created. I'm apparently never going to get there, so I will give up now. But trust me, they're there. So again, thank you so much for joining us. We will see you next time.